Question 27, Part A. In the diagram, X, Y, and Z represent the locations of three towns. The town Y is due east of X, and the bearing of Z from Y is 046 degrees. Part 1. Find the size of angle XYZ. Firstly, draw a north-south axis from town Y to act as our reference line. Now it's given that the bearing of town Z from town Y is 046 degrees. That means if we're standing in town Y, pointing north, we need to turn 46 degrees in order to point to town Z. So this angle here is 46 degrees. Now we're also given that town Y is due east of town X. If we reverse that, we can say that town X is due west of town Y. That means this angle here is 90 degrees. So angle XYZ is the sum of this angle here and this angle here, since both of these angles are adjacent. So angle XYZ is equal to 90 degrees plus 46 degrees, which equals 136 degrees. Part 2. Find the distance XZ correct to one decimal place. In triangle XYZ, two sides and the included angle are known. So that's this side here, and this is the included angle. That's the angle between the two known sides. Hence, apply the cosine rule to find the distance XZ, which is this distance here. And I've used the pronumeral A to represent that distance XZ. So applying the cosine rule, we have A squared is equal to 18 squared plus 22 squared minus 2 times 18 times 22 times cos of 136 degrees. And recall that we found this angle here in part 1. So evaluating the right hand side, we get A squared is equal to 1377.717122 and so on. But we need A, not A squared. So we need to take the square root of both sides. Very similar to finding the hypotenuse in a right angled triangle. We need to take the square root of both sides. So taking the square root of this value here, we get A is equal to 37.11761 and so on, which rounds to 37.1. Therefore, distance XZ is 37.1 kilometers, correct to one decimal place. Part 3. What is the bearing of Y from Z? The question is asking for the bearing of town Y from town Z. So I'm going to draw a north-south axis passing through town Z to act as a reference line, similar to the north-south axis that I drew in part 1 originally. Now this north-south axis and this north-south axis are parallel since they're both pointing in the same direction. They're both pointing north. So using parallel line geometry, this angle here and this angle here must be alternate, since YZ is a transversal. So this angle here is 46 degrees. Now starting from north and going clockwise to south, that's 180 degrees. So adding 46 degrees to that will give us the bearing of town Y from town Z. So 46 degrees plus 180 degrees is equal to 226 degrees. Therefore, the bearing of town Y from town Z is 226 degrees from true north, or as a compass bearing, it's south 46 degrees west.